Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and am I excited to share with you a brand new package that just walked through our door. This is a package from Google, and guess what? It has the Google Pixel 6 Pro. Let's go ahead and check it out. So guys, I have to say that I have been reviewing the Google Pixel since the very beginning, the very first one. And I have the 5A, the 5, the 4, the 3XL, and I've had a lot of Pixels. And while I've always been excited about Pixels, I have never been more excited about a phone coming from Google like this one in a long time. The Google Pixel 6 Pro is, I'd say, a standout phone that it's not saying, hey, look at me too, just like everybody else. But this is a phone that stands apart from all the other phones on the market. And I have to say that a lot of this has to do with the actual technology and the software itself, but also combined with the fact that this is the first phone from Google where they actually took control and actually owned the actual chipset itself. So this is Google end-to-end, fantastic phone. So you're going to want to watch this video so you can learn more about it. So let's get right into the specs. Now the very first thing that we're going to talk about before taking a look at this special unboxing is the fact that the Google Pixel 6 Pro is going to be available in a number of colors: stormy black, cloudy white, and sort of sunny. From a display perspective, we are looking at the Pro, which has a 6.7-inch display, and that's a resolution of 1440 by 3120 with 512 ppi. Now, from a refresh perspective, pretty spectacular because you can expect to have refresh rates up to 120 Hertz. Now, it is using a custom chipset or chip designed by Google, and this is the Google Tensor with Titan M2, which is going to give it a whole bunch of capabilities. 12 gig of RAM. It comes configured either 128, 256, or 512 gigabytes of storage, right? So you have all those options to store. You also then have a rear 50 megapixel camera. Now keep in mind, Google has always been known for having fantastic, I would say, image quality, right? And AI when it comes to images. So you have that rear 50 megapixel wide angle camera, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, and a 48 megapixel telephoto. Lots and lots of power here, really addressing the needs of everyone, because we have complained sometimes where Google eliminated the zoom feature or the ultra wide feature. There was like all these things going on where we were like, come on, give us the phone that we want. And this phone right now has, again, all of these different cameras that are pretty spectacular when it comes to specs and then also when it comes to performance. It also has zoom, 4x optical, and 20 times super res digital zooming. It has also an 11.1 megapixel, I would say, front-facing camera. Okay, great stuff. Now from a recording perspective, you're going to be able to record 4K and 1080p, both up to 60 frames per second. The front camera, 4K 30 frames per second, and 1080p with up to 60 frames per second. You do have a fingerprint sensor on screen, not on the back, on screen. That's also great too. Now, from a battery perspective, they're rating 24 hours and 48 with extreme battery saving technology that they have. And you can expect pretty decent performance with this because it does have a great battery. We're talking 4,905 milliamp hours. It does support wireless charging, and it's a 7.4 ounce in weight. So let's take a closer look. Now, like I mentioned, this is a real special unboxing because you don't always receive such a large box from Google. And it is an experience because this is a very transformational phone. You know, this is I would say, the best generation of any Google phone that I've seen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this a little bit so you can see with my overhead camera what to expect, because I thought this was pretty cool. So as you open it up, you actually get greeted with this, right? Now, one of the things that you'll see is this is the Google Pixel 6 Pro kind of greeting. And then when we open it up, here we have the actual Google Pixel itself, right? So we want to thank Google because we're actually part of Team Pixel for including us in, just being able to get early access to this product. And then also with the fact that, we've been able to listen to a lot of the development and what's been going on with this product. And there's a lot of cool stuff here to like. So we'll get into all the features in a second, but let's go ahead and continue with the unboxing. Now, Google's kind enough to send us, not only did we get the Google Pixel Pro with 128 gig, but they also sent us a case, which really completes the package for us. I'm going to go ahead and open this up, and we received this one right here, so this color. And you can see that this is a respectively large phone. It's a really, really nice phone. And we're going to put it to the side. What you have then here is some information instructions. You do have a USB-C cable with a converter. Almost all of the Google phones I received have it. There's no charging brick, but I do have some, I would say, charging bricks that I reviewed on the channel that I would highly recommend you check out from Spigen. I'll put a card for it, and then I'll also put it in the description area so that you can check that out. And then over here what we have is we have a case, and we'll go ahead and try to open this up. And I always love it when they include a case. And here we have, and again, this is a Team Pixel version, right? So you can see that, and this box even says Team Pixel right here. So that's pretty cool. Really appreciate Google for being so kind to us. So here basically what you have is you have your phone and your case. Let's go ahead and power it up. Now as the phone is being set up, I just wanted to highlight some of the things that are going on. So here you have your camera there. You do have volume rocker, power button. You have your camera, I would say, I'll call it the array in the back. And over here you have your SIM ejector and where you would place your SIM tray. Pinhole mic at the top, speakers there at the bottom, and we'll put this in an angle because it's kind of bright, but it has a pretty spectacular screen. I love the design so far. I like the way it feels, and right now it's going to be walking us through the setup process. And right now it's starting to vibrate a little bit for me in my hand, so I'm going to go ahead and go through the setup process, and then we'll come back to this video. Now that we've already completed the setup of the Pixel 6 Pro, I wanted to share with you not only the 6 Pro, which we'll take a deeper look, but we're also going to look at some of the other Pixels that we have here, because we have quite a few of them. So you can see that, for the most part, all of them have the same camera module, and they all pretty much had the same design language. But you could see that the Pixel 6 Pro stands out significantly. It's changed a lot. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these guys, move them over to the side, and then we're going to just focus on the 6 Pro for a couple seconds. So as we talked, the actual camera area has changed significantly. So you have a really powerful array of cameras, and we're going to look at the overall camera quality in a second. On the bottom, you do have your charging port, your speakers right there. You have also pinhole mic here. You then also have here your power button. You have your volume rocker. No other controls going on there, and nothing else on this side. Now, one of the most striking features of the Pixel 6 Pro is the screen. And as you can see this here, large screen, really deep blacks. Look at how the colors pop. And then also there's the fingerprint sensor. Now, I went ahead and programmed my finger to it, and I'm just going to show you how quickly this functions. You saw how fast that was. As soon as you put your finger on the screen, you're going to get some feedback. It's going to have like a tactile thump, and then it basically unlocks. Now, there is not a lot with the Pixel when it comes to software. So let's take a closer look at what we see in the actual software, and then also some of the major changes that are very unique to the Pixel line. Now, in addition to benefiting from, I would say, frequent updates coming directly from Pixel, the Pixel lineup of phones pretty much has a very pure experience when it comes to your Google experience. So as we take a look at it, there's a couple things, and this is pretty much a stock. You do have Google on the side, which is going to bring you all of your news and your content. The other thing that you have is your toggles, and I'm going to swipe down. Actually, we'll do it this way. We'll do from the very top. And what you'll notice is that when you do swipe down, the toggle area has changed completely. So you can see that almost like they're giant toggles. Before they were a little bit smaller, as you see with the Samsung line and even with the previous Pixels. And I like how large these are here. As you swipe over, you can see that you have some other toggles that you can enable or disable. And then what you can also do is if you'd like to edit them, you'll be able to edit them here. You can see how you have so many more that you can choose from and that you can actually manage. And we'll have videos on tips and tricks and the first things that you need to do with your Pixel included. Now, you do have in your settings area here, this is where you're going to be able to go in and see all of the settings when it comes to your phone. So you still have a settings area, and you also have the ability to search for things inside of the setting, which makes it really easy to personalize and get the maximum value out of your Pixel 6 Pro. Now, one of the things that you're going to notice is that in my setup, I do have a percent, if you do have the Pixel 6, that is showing up next to my battery. That's a setting that you can enable, and when we do our tips and tricks, or the first 10 things you should do with the Pixel 6 Pro, you'll be able to learn more about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get out of that screen for now, and I'm going to swipe up. And as you swipe up, you'll be able to see that you have pretty much your standard icons. There's not a lot to this phone because it's so pure when it comes to Google. But it's also super duper fast. Now, before we take a look at the camera, which is something I'm sure everyone wants to see and some of the features that you get with it, I wanted to show you some other cool features that come with the Pixel 6 Pro. I'm right now in Google Docs, and I just want to show you how much things have improved. So I'm going to press this little button right here, and now it's going to take everything that I'm saying and it's going to type it in this document. So this, for a student, becomes a super powerful tool. If you're a business person, it becomes super powerful as well. And what's so interesting to me is how much this voice-to-text capability has improved. As you can see, it's doing a fantastic job when it comes to translating what I'm saying. Period. New paragraph. It also knows or hears or interprets my commands when they have to do with formatting of a document. So the ability to be able to set a period, the ability to be able to go to a next paragraph, all of those things are actually happening, and you can see it actually hearing me and doing it in real time. The thing about this is that this becomes such a powerful tool, like I said, for a business person or someone that is a student, that it makes the actual use of a phone for capturing notes like this incredibly powerful. Now, you could also use this with the actual voice recorder to translate and, I would say, and transcribe recorded meetings, which is super powerful. Now, another powerful aspect from the Pixel, and this is what you would come to expect of any Pixel, is going to be the camera. And I'm going to go into the camera mode for a second just to show you some of the things that are here. So basically, you have the ability to take night sight photos, which is going to enhance the overall dark situations and just bring in a lot of light. You have also motion capabilities, and with the motion, what's going to happen is, like for example, if you have running water in the background, it's going to create a really nice effect when it comes to how you record. So you have action plan, and then you also have long exposure. You also have the portrait mode that you see right here, and this is the portrait mode that's going to give you kind of the blurry bokeh effect in the background with you in the foreground. You do have your standard camera. You have video capabilities with slow motion and time lapse, as well as several different zooms. And then you have some modes here where panorama, photosphere, and lens. So a lot of flexibility, and in the traditional form of the Google Pixel, it has a fantastic camera. So let me show you some of the pictures I took of Nilda as I was testing out this phone. Now, this is one of my favorite photos that we took that night, and I'm going to make some changes to this photo that are just going to improve the overall experience using Google's AI technology. So one of the things that you could do is you can enhance. So I'm going to tap the enhance, and you can see how it's changed it. We'll take it off, and we'll turn it on again, and you can see how the colors pop. You could also change things to dynamic. I'm not going to change that. I'm going to leave it on enhanced. You could also go black and white, and look at how nice that is. What you can also do is go from that to color pop. Now notice how all of a sudden Nilda's in color, but the background is in black and white. So it's going to give you a lot of flexibility when it comes to that. Now the other thing that we could do is if we go into tools, I can actually manage my blur, right? So I want to be able to blur Nilda out or keep Nilda in focus and blur everything else around her. So notice how the background is now blurred out and she's in focus. And I can actually increase that, right? I could also modify the depth. The other thing I want to do is, with this magic eraser, which is a new feature, I want to get rid of the person that's in the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over this area, trace it out, and then go up like this. And then what's going to happen is Google's going to eliminate the person that's there. Right? It's gone. Now, right now, you may look at this knowing that there was someone there. You'll say, hey, that didn't do a fantastic job. But you know what? That's okay, right? Because I'm going to be blurring that out anyways. But now this picture to me is a little bit more interesting. And notice with the blur, you're not really missing that person that was there. If I hadn't shown you that I eliminated them, you wouldn't even have noticed this. But now you have Nilda in this photo. Everything is blurred out. And for me, I believe that this is a more interesting photo. So guys, that wraps up our first impressions of the Google Pixel 6 Pro. If you're looking to get the best phone on the market, this is it. The camera, the speed, the operating system, the overall, I would say, form factor of the phone is one of the best Pixels that I have ever experienced in a very long time. So if you're interested, pick one up. You're not going to regret it. You're going to love the camera, and you're going to love all the other features. See you in the next video.